everyone, my name is Sister Dymock.
And I'm Sister Seegrist, and we're Sister Missionaries for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
And we are so glad to have Sister Singer here with us today. Would you like to introduce yourself a little bit?
Sure. My name is Rachael Singer. I'm part of the Heber Heights ward. I'm married with 5 kids, and I love crafting, so that's why I was asked to participate in this activity, which I'm super excited about.
Yes, and we are too. We are so excited today, and we are going to be making a wonderful Christmas-themed little nativity set.
So this is the little nativity set. It's just a little Joseph and a Mary and a little Jesus. So we'll just be showing how to make that. But before we get to that, we just wanted to kind of talk a little bit about Christmas. It's coming up in a little bit.
Yes, and we're so excited. Sister Singer, what are some things that you love about Christmas?
I love the colors. I love the holiday music. I love how everybody just seems to be a little bit kinder. But I really enjoy focusing on the spirit of Christmas, which is the light of Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm. And how do you make that focus in your life?
So making that focus has actually taken several years. So this year I celebrated my 20-year anniversary, and it seemed about 10 years ago that I really started figuring out how I wanted to celebrate Christmas. So it took a lot of research and kind of figuring out what I wanted to help my kids with, but the biggest thing is the nativity story and focusing everything back on Jesus Christ. So decorations, music, the nativities, the crafts we do, the stories we read, everything centers on Jesus Christ and his birth and the gift that our Heavenly Father gave us. So
I love that.
And I do too, and that's why we're so excited to share this craft with you, so that you can have the opportunity to remember Christ always as well. So we'll go ahead and jump right in.
Okay, so first I'm going to talk about the supplies that you need. So to make your Joseph and Mary and your baby, you're going to be using dowels. So this you can find at Lowe's. So these ones are about 1 inch dowel, and you can cut them to the size that you want. I have my Joseph about 3 inches and my Mary about 2.5 or 2 1/4. And then the other little dowel I have is just a little smaller dowel. The wood heads that I have, I picked up at Michael's. You can get them Michael's or Joann's, and you want your baby Jesus obviously to have a smaller head than your Joseph and Mary. They can be the same size. These ones happen to have holes in it, which is fine because you're going to be covering it. The next thing I have is twine, and then different pieces of fabric. So, and you'll see a little bit more about our colors of fabric. But the last thing I have, and this is optional, it just makes it really cute, is some of that fake hair. And you can pick this up at any crafting store as well, or even if you can find something at the secondhand store that's like a vest or a doll, or just something that you can do little pieces of hair on the beard. So, and then we have scissors, we have a glue gun, and I think that's about it. So we'll go ahead and we'll show you how we put this together. So the first thing that we're going to start with is our Joseph. So we will need our dowel, and I cut material, and I just kind of matched up what we were using to do that with and cut it. So the first thing that we'll do is actually glue on its head. And I'm going to let that sit for a minute because I'm going to glue all my heads on my dolls. So this is my Mary, and as you can see, hers is just a little bit shorter. And here's my cute little baby Jesus. So So I'll set those aside, let them dry for a minute. So then we're just gonna hot glue gun some glue on here. So you want to make sure that your fabric doesn't go past the bottom, because you want to be able to make him stand up. And if it goes past the bottom, you'll need to cut it off, which is a little bit harder once it's all glued together. So then the seam is going to want to go in the back. So the next step we're going to do is his sash. So with this sash and all the material, I just took scraps that I had. You can ask a friend for scraps. You can take old pillowcases, sheets. There were some sheets that I used. But I like this this edge that I have to it. And to be able to get that, you want to cut the fabric. You're going to cut just a little bit of fabric and then just pull it. And that's how you get this cute little edge. You can go along and just kind of pull your fingers and rough it up, and it gives that nice little vintage look to it. I just took a piece, maybe about a 1/4 inch, and I measured it out, because you're just going to want to be able to tie it. You're not tying it in a bow, you're just tying it in a knot. Make sure that you have your seam in the back. And then I put little dots of glue to kind of hold it in. So the next thing I'm going to do is his beard. So I cut a piece of that fabric, and now we don't want him, I don't think Joseph had a big, huge Moses beard. So what we need to do with that is just take and trim some of it off. And instead of cutting it across like this, I like to cut it sideways. That way when you put it together, you don't get that fine line. Tips from a hairdresser. Just to make it look like he has a shorter beard. You know, he could have totally had a long beard. In all the movies, all we see is just a short beard, you know? I don't know. Maybe, you know, what did his beard look like? Was it short? Did he even have a beard? We have no idea. So then once I feel like I'm happy with this beard, I'm going to glue it on. And you need to make sure that you glue it on in the front and not the back. So the next thing that we have for him is his, what do you call this? It's not a robe, it's like a blanket sash thing that goes around. I actually learned something really interesting about like their sashes. I was in, it's a Highland walk through Bethlehem. Mm-hmm. It's Highland Pleasant Grove area. Mm-hmm. And their sashes that Mary wore was a representation of like their status. It usually was really embroidered what they said. I looked it up because I'm just like trying to remember. So we're gonna glue this one just kind of around him like this. So you can make it longer if you want. You can make it about that length. So I'm just kind of guesstimating about 1.5 inches, 2 inches. That's where I'm going to put some glue in his back like this. I'm going to put some glue on the back like that. And I'm going to kind of fold it a little bit so that it kind of holds. And then you can kind of crumple it down, put some more glue in this area here. And then instead of just pulling that straight down, I like to kind of crumple it up a little bit. So kind of figure out how you want it to drape. And you might like to get it to hold right there. I'll put a little glue dot right here. And I can glue it to his side. I remember my mom had a nativity, but I don't remember it being like one passed down. I think it's really neat to have those ones that you look forward to putting out every year. Mm-hmm. Okay, and then I'm just going to take and fray this little edge because I want to fray it a little bit more. If you find the little pieces that are on this side, if you pull them, that's what frays it. It's great. Okay, so the next thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be finishing him by putting on one of these hats. So we'll put it on. So that makes him look a little bit more masculine than my Mary, who's just frayed. So we're gonna first kind of make it look like a scarf that goes over the head, and we'll put some glue on the top. So I'm just gonna continue kind of gluing it down the way that I want it to look. So then we're gonna take some twine and we're going to wrap it around. And then to get it to stay as I put it on, and if you're fast enough, you can just push it back. And then he's done. Ta-da! So the next one we're going to be making is Mary and baby Jesus. So I will do Mary first. And she's pretty simple. So we already have the glued on head on top of the doll. We're going to use a little piece of that hair. So it's just a nice little thin piece, enough to kind of go around her head. And we have a piece of fabric already cut out. We have a triangle piece of fabric. And then we also have for her scarf. And then I have a piece of twine for the top, but her twine is thinner. So what I did is I just unraveled a piece of twine for her top. So the first thing I'm going to do is, like I said, I like that that feathered kind of look. So I'm going to take some of this off here. Okay, so same thing with the Joseph, is to wrap it around. Make sure your seam's in the back, and then we're going to put the scarf on next. So now that I have it nice and raveled, so I'm going to put the side that's a little bit more raveled in the front. So this one, you kind of want to bunch up a little bit in the back. Make sure you have it centered, and we'll put it just right in the back of the neck. And I'll pull that one across the front like that, and then I'll pull it across. First, I'm going to put my hair on next. And same thing, you just want to do just a strip across the top, just like you did when you did Joseph's hat thingy. And I'll put her this one, and this one I made a little longer than Joseph's. So when you're cutting them out, the reason why I did that, I just thought it looked a little bit more feminine to be longer. So this is where you can be a little bit creative on how you want it to drape. So you can either have it draped down like this and fold it over like this. So, or I'm going to tuck my back and have mine drape more like that. No, I think I'm going to have mine drape more like that. So here's my little string for her little headband, and that's what's going to help hold that front down too. There I have my Mary. All right, so the next one that we're going to be doing is we're going to be wrapping our baby Jesus. And so I have two pieces for this. I have one to wrap him like swaddling clothes, but I also have a top for the head, and that's so that I can wrap it the way I want. And then the next part, if you've wrapped a baby, it's pretty much what we're going to be doing, is just wrapping him. So turning it to a corner. And you don't want it sticking out too much on the top, just kind of right there. And I'll put some, I'm going to turn him so it's easier to work with. Put some glue on his body. Okay, so once we have our baby Jesus done, then we have a string. I think this one is long enough. And all what we're going to be doing is just tying a nice little knot. Because obviously our dowel Mary has no arms, so this acts as her arms. And there we have our cute little nativity.
Here is the big reveal at the end of our little crafting session here. We've got 3 cute little nativities. Perfect for any place in the home, I'd say.
We'll put him on our counter.
This is so fun. Thank you for teaching us so much about this and about Jesus himself.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure. So I love having nativities in my home. My children love having nativities. And one thing that you can always do is removing the little baby Jesus. One of the activities that we like to do is to put the little baby Jesus in a present, and then we talk about the gifts that we receive from our Heavenly Father and let the children open up the present, and there's little baby Jesus. So just another little idea that you can do.
I love that. And we'd just like to invite you all just to find someone to serve this Christmas season, whether that be your family or through volunteer work or a neighbor. Something that the main thing that Jesus did while he was on the earth was serve the people around him. And so we would just like to invite you to follow his example by finding someone to serve whoever it may be.
Mm-hmm. And to continue to find ways to include Christ in your Christmas. I know that as we do, as Sister Singer has taught us today, as we take the opportunity to put up reminders or to serve others, that it will bless us and it will make our Christmases more joyful. And we are so glad that you were able to watch this, and we will catch you next time. Bye!